Hello, everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your weekly dose of the internet for October 14th, 2018. It is Sunday morning, and I am Michael Schwan.
I'm Sleepy, the dwarf.
Oh, nice. Well, I do know that one. That is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I am also quite sleepy, although I am able to tell it to fuck off a little bit better.
Oh, man. I keep forgetting that we changed it to this morning, so, like, every morning when my alarm goes off, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't need to be up until 2 o'clock. What? No! No, the podcast!
Why do I torture myself like this?
Staying up late, doing 31 days of Shocktober.
Nice. Please remember, everybody, you can help support this show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, picking up some merchandise in the link below. Also, you can send us anything that you would like us to talk about, whether that's a news story, a random topic, our opinion on a video game, a movie, a TV show. I probably haven't seen it, but you can send it to us anyway.
It's more like my opinion on these things.
And you can do so by sending us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Reddit. All of those are at iRedditCast. You can also send us an email to iReddit@mjolnir.media. Yeah, so wait, why is the topic, wait a second, the title of the episode on Facebook is https://docs.google.com,
baby.
Wait, does it open the show notes? It does.
You're absolutely right, it does.
That's the best. Interesting. Well, you know what? That's just gonna stay that way.
Okay.
I also stayed up too late last night. Me and Jennifer went to Orange Crush. They're not Orange Crush anymore. Rage City and the Sockeye Sally's Black Eye and Tie fundraiser gala for a silent auction. That also had a random live auction attached to the end of it. And I love those people. They are wonderful people. My only question is, I legit wonder what their plan was before I walked in the door.
Oh?
Yeah, because I'm normally their announcer for their games. And I walk in the door and we do like a little bit of a walk around, and someone's like, hey, we have, not talking to me, like they're talking over to the side, and they're like, we forgot to figure out someone to do announcements. We have a microphone here and we need to do announcements for like when tables are closing and stuff. Who are we going to get to do announcements? And Jennifer was like, you know Michael's right here, right? And they're like, oh God, you're here.
They're
Thank
like,
God.
I wonder who we're going to get to do announcements.
But as the night went on, they're like, we need someone to conduct the live auction. Who are we going to get to do the live auction? And I'm like, what? And they're like, hey, can you do the live auction for us? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, we're going to do a live auction. Can you do that? And I was like, I can try. And then someone comes up to me, they're like, are you going to do the 55, 65, 65, do I hear 75? And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to get up there and see what happens, all right?
Of course I'm not going to do that. My rap career hasn't exploded yet.
Yeah, right, exactly. I didn't have anyone laying down a beat track anyway.
Exactly. It's not possible. You couldn't have done it.
I did end up doing something somewhat like that. Jennifer got a video of it. I don't know if she will share it anywhere. I'm hesitant to ask whether she will or not.
She'll share it once we hit our Patreon goal of
30 cents.
Yeah, 30 cents. Pay us 30 cents and you got this footage, guys.
Oh, man.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah.
Why does mornings exist?
Because we have to get into the rest of the day somehow.
I hate everything. All right.
That good, huh?
I was just tired. I was really tired. I was drinking a bit last night. I stayed up too late watching horror movies.
How late is too late?
Like 4 or 5.
Oh, damn, bro. Good job.
Yeah, I'm fairly dead.
We stayed up till like midnight 30, but I also kept waking up through the night. Like, I woke up at like 2, and then 2:30, and then 3:30, and then I remember once at 4:30, and then I remember again at 6, and then I was having really weird-ass dreams. Yay.
Dude, those like I'm falling into like an abyss, and then you land on like a stained glass platform that depicts a Disney princess.
No.
And then from there you go to another stained glass platform that depicts another Disney princess.
No,
and
it was
you get to pick a
nothing
weapon.
nearly as interesting as that.
You could pick like a sword, you could pick like a staff, or you could pick a shield, and then when you pick that, you have to pick one that you have to give up.
Yeah,
It wasn't like that?
it
No?
was nowhere near as interesting as that.
Oh.
Instead, I was like living in this like mansion with like 20 other people.
Oh, so it's like Team 10.
Except we weren't doing cool shit and hurting the hell out of one another. Like we were kind of like locked in there under like Soviet rule.
Soviet rule.
So again, kind of like Team 10.
Yes. Yeah, you're not.
I'm not convincing you otherwise of that right now.
I'm fairly certain Greg Paul is a fucking is Stalin.
He's just a Putin sympathizer.
He's not a sympathizer. He is Putin.
In any case, and like I remember that like it was really shitty in there because like there was like this like power struggle amongst the people. But then I found like I don't remember what it was exactly anymore. It was like a spoon. Like, and a spoon with this little gem that I found twisted the right way would allow me to go back in time. But the interesting thing that ended up happening, and one, I was already fucked to begin with because they're like, yeah, it's Mox Ochran the third. And I'm like, what the fuck is Mox Ochran? And they show me the calendar and I'm like, you mean January? And they're like, no, Mox Ochran. What the fuck is a January? And I'm like, oh no. And then someone else freaking is working on a phone and they are like writing down that they're gonna need to, you know, do this on March 4th. And I'm like, ha, March, that's a real month. And they're like, what? March 4th? No. And then they erase it and write back in like Doc Strawn. And I'm like, wait. Are you guys fucking with me? And then there's this really sweet old lady who was like 60 with the Betty White haircut who looks at me and smiles and is like, hey, I need you to come in the other room with me real quick. And I was like, oh, okay, fuck it. If she's going to murder me, I don't care at this point. She takes me into the other room and she's like, you know what January is? And I'm like, this is the major breakthrough that we're going to have, that we discovered 2 people in this building that know what months are. And she goes, wait a minute, what time are you from? And I was like, 2018. She's like, me too. And I have a high five with this old lady. And then she's like, I have no idea what year it is, but I can't get out of this house. And I keep going back to different points in time in this same house, hoping that I can change something so we can get out. She goes, one thing to be aware of, though, every time you go back in time, you're going to create a duplicate version of yourself that lives in that timeline. So you will have to keep going back to compound knowledge if you need to change something more than once. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, the version of me that you're talking to right now, this is the 6th time that I've come back to this spot. And I'm like, okay. And then that story just keeps going for a while and it doesn't make any more sense.
I drank too much. I didn't have a dream. Though listening to your dream, I was also listening to it while the show was going on and with a slight delay, so it was really hard to focus on what you were saying. And I was like, "What the fuck is going on? Why can't I focus?" And then I realized there was 2 of you.
Are you okay?
I'm really tired.
I'm just so tired.
I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm Kanye.
Well, he did hug a Cheeto, so.
Yo, he is batshit insane.
So not that it's one of our topics today, but did you see Melania Trump claiming that she is the most bullied person in the world?
Yes. Oh my god, I watched that interview.
She is the most bullied person.
It's like, all right. It's like, when you're the first lady, you have to have some kind of social program, right? And when
you're supposed to. You don't actually have to. Like,
Right,
it's just like tradition.
Right, but you're supposed to pick something that you feel greatly on. And the reason why she picked cyberbullying is because she felt like she was the most bullied person on the internet. Not because, of some actual honorable fucking reason. No, it's because she felt bullied and she wanted it to stop.
Well, no.
Some selfish shit right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Selfish shit. Selfish Mr. Mermaid.
I'm trying to prolong because I was really busy yesterday. I went to Josh's birthday party yesterday, and then after his party, we went home and immediately got dressed to go to the gala. And then when we got home at around midnight, I was like, fuck, I forgot to do show notes. And I was like, not only have I not made them, I've not read them. So like I woke up and got out of bed at like 8:15 and like went and sat down and started making show notes. But I got everything ready and I got most of them read, but I still have one that I'm trying to skim through right now. And unfortunately, it's a big one. So I'm like, oh God, wait, I need to understand why. I know all of the rest of this, but no one's telling me why. So maybe I'll just make that.
You don't need a why, motherfucker.
You damn fucking right, I don't.
It's just cause.
Just cause what?
Just cause 4.
Oh God, don't make those jokes.
I just did. Actually, that game series is pretty fun.
Yeah, but you don't have to make bad jokes.
Yeah, I do.
All right, shall we actually do news now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's like part of my contract.
Doing news or making bad jokes?
Both.
Yeah, that's true.
10.
Facebook has lost 30% of its value since July.
This is submitted by Alpho Sin to our news.
I think that's a really shitty way to spell Alphonse.
Alphonse.
Alphonse. Alphonse. I'm gonna go with Alphonse.
No, because the N and the S need to be switched for Alphonse. This is Alphonsen.
Alphonsen.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Anyway, Facebook is worth still a fuckload of money, actually.
Absolutely.
That
It's
said,
yeah.
their stock opened
It's worth less money.
Yeah, their stock opened at $150 a share earlier this week, which is 30% down from its high in July. Now, in terms of why, it's because fuck Facebook, they're a piece of shit, and we're going to use them as a means for our own production. But even beyond that, it's mostly because they didn't recognize anything with like the Cambridge Analytica data breach. They didn't do enough to protect themselves from that. We just had the recent data breach that had the information of 50 million users lost, and well, not lost, but taken, copied, whatever you want to call it. And they're not doing enough to make people feel better about that, which they're not making their investors feel better about that. So they're bailing, which means their stock's going wee.
This trend has to continue.
Nathan's like, yes, it's the beginning of the end.
It'll keep continuing, and then once it gets to the apex, then Facebook will fall.
So here's my question to you, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I am very concerned because all of my browser windows just reset for whatever reason. That wasn't concerning at all. It was quite concerning. Anyway. MySpace, really big, was doing really well. Made a couple mistakes, started not do so well. People started looking for alternatives. Facebook ended up being the alternative. Everyone jumped ship to Facebook. If Facebook follows this trend and keeps on shooting themselves in the dick, what comes along to replace Facebook?
I was gonna say the Gmail one, but they just shut that down.
Yeah, Google Plus is dead, literally.
So probably LinkedIn.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good option.
Reddit.
No. You guys stay the fuck off of Reddit.
Hey, dude, Reddit's trying. They're like trying.
Reddit's already fucking garbage. Don't make it worse.
I know, but they're trying, man. They're like wanting to be a social platform, and
No,
everyone.
There's a reason I have a Facebook. There's a reason I have a Reddit. They're mutually exclusive. They're vastly different. They.
You don't need to see. You don't want people seeing all those likes on that awkward midget porn.
Yo, little people, man. Midget is an offensive term.
Okay, sorry. Your Bowsette Guru posts.
Whoa, I'm not into Guru. I'm into Vor.
Okay.
And a light bit of futanari.
Anywho, yeah, you don't need people seeing that.
On second thought,
And now there's a bunch of people that are like, "What's guru? Oh God!"
they're gonna type in 4 and they're gonna be like, "Oh God,
What
don't
the fuck
type
is
in
this shit?
futanari."
And then they're like, "Futanari." They're like, "Oh, that's just Thursdays." Like in terms of severity, though, I definitely think Guru's at the top of those, and then Vor's kind of funky, and then Futanari is something that people are slowly becoming more and more desensitized to.
It's crazy. It's like people have more support for a transsexual Koopa than actual transsexuals.
Well, I don't know. Like, maybe the vocal voices of the weird sections of
That's
the
all right.
internet.
That's all right. If you jerk off to anime porn, apparently it means that you voted for Trump.
Oh, all right.
That was like a thing during the elections. It was like if you jerk off to anime porn, you're more likely to vote for Trump.
Okay, really? All right.
Yeah.
I feel like that is not true, actually.
Yeah, I didn't vote
I
for
feel
Trump.
I feel
I
like
jerk
it'd
off
be
to anime porn regularly.
I feel like it would have been the opposite direction. Like with most of the people that I would believe would fit into that category, I think it would go the other direction.
I don't know. It depends, because like, all right, because like there are two kinds of people who vote for Trump. You got the older people, and then you got the 4chaners. And
Got it,
maybe not the older people who jerk off to anime porn, but I will guarantee you every single person on 4chan has.
Maybe a neckbeard or two.
Absolutely. That's where they propagate. That's where they're stemmed from.
All those incels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Makes sense.
9.
Retired firefighter found guilty for shooting at lost black teen on doorstep.
This is submitted by... It's so racist. It's submitted by Tastes Like Chicken to our news.
So, hi, I'm looking for Ray Finkel and a new pair of shorts.
I had that movie. I watched that one the other day.
Brennan Walker, 14, had missed his bus and was trying to walk to school. Didn't know how to get to school, so he goes up to a house and knocks on the door. He knocks on the door and steps away from the door. Doesn't get an answer, so he's like, I'll try one more time. And he goes up and he knocks on the door and steps back from the door. And he hears this lady like screaming. And he can hear her like stomping down the steps about how there's this black kid that's trying to rob their house.
Wow.
And so her husband, Jeffrey Craig Ziegler, piece of shit supreme for the week, opens up his door with a shotgun. Brennan Walker's first reaction is to fucking run. Good.
Absolutely.
Good choice.
That kid would've died.
Bolts as fast as he fucking can. This dude runs out onto his porch and opens fire on the kid.
And this right here is living black in America.
Like, holy shit. He was not hit. He was not harmed. So that's good. He is still...
Wouldn't have happened to a white kid.
You're right. It wouldn't have. And that's what fucking sucks. Luckily, he wasn't hurt, harmed, killed, etc. He is traumatized and is in therapy. And this guy is going to go to jail for a minimum of 2 years. The 2 years is just for opening the shot. For the attempt to shoot the kid, well, the jury determined that he did not intend to kill him, which everyone is like, excuse me, what?
Excuse me?
Did
you see the video?
He was found guilty.
He shouldered the shotgun, aimed down the fucking barrel, and fired.
It was a warning shot.
You could have fired into the air or into the fucking dirt for a warning shot. You shouldered the fucking gun. You aimed down the sights, pointed it at him. Are you fucking kidding me, you pieces of trash? You milquetoast pieces of trash.
He was found guilty of assault with attempt to do great bodily harm and possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. So he will go to jail for a minimum of 2 years to a maximum of 12 years.
If this was a white kid, it'd be attempted murder.
What are you talking about? If it was a white kid, it wouldn't have happened.
And I mean, it's true, but if it did happen and if it was a white kid, it would have been attempted murder.
Yeah, probably.
Some bullshit.
How dare you try to kill your fellow white man? Oh, you black kid? Whatever.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's like they still count as 3/4 or 3/5 of an individual, and they definitely don't. They're definitely individuals.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't see it that way.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. It's fucked up.
But at least the situation is not okay, but at least the kid isn't actually hurt or dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
He's just psychologically hurt.
yeah, exactly. But at least it wasn't like open up
At
the
least it's
door,
all in
blow
his
you
head,
off
you
the
know?
porch.
At least it's just fucked up in his head. It's
Yeah,
not like he's
just
got
mental
physical
trauma.
fucked
That's
up.
all. A little
That's
bit of mental
fine.
trauma is good for everybody. It helps you grow up in life.
As long as you don't get too much mental trauma. You have to have just enough mental trauma so that you can be funny.
Yeah, just enough to be where people go, he might be crazy, but I can't tell.
I don't know.
Oh well.
8.
Incarcerated Pennsylvanians now have to pay $150 to read. We should all be outraged.
This is submitted by Eric Q to our books.
Damn, I missed the 2 days ago part on that.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Nathan, too tired, don't care.
Yeah.
So what it used to be in the state of Pennsylvania,
In the city of Pennsylvania.
prisoners were able to write to nonprofit organizations
that would country of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. That would
on the continent of Pennsylvania.
that would provide books for them to read. They could write to them and be like, hey, these are the kind of books that I like to read. These are the kind of issues that I'm dealing with. And they'd be given not only fictional literature, but also like self-help stuff. And it 100% led to an improved ratio of rehabilitation for people in prisons.
Oh, we can't have that. Then we can't have free slave labor.
Well, that's not necessarily what it is. It is more that people are not profiting from that.
Yeah.
So last month, Pennsylvania Department of Corrections decided that...
It's like literally just what I said.
Well, I mean, it's not that they need slave labor. They need...
That's how you profit.
It's not the slave labor they want to profit off of in this instance. They want to profit off of the books. So
you're still profiting off of the dumb people staying in the fucking prisons.
You're not wrong. So what they have done...
Taking away education is a way to make slavery.
Is that they...
If they don't know their options, if it's locked behind a paywall...
Exactly. No education free. Well, and it's not that they can't get books, but they...
Oh, but yeah, you have to pay $150 for it. You don't... All right, so that shuts away so many people from actually being able to get those books because they are too poor. And in prison,
you get paid less than $1 an hour in most prisons. So
yeah,
you only need to work like 150
slave labor, and they're
hours.
Just like, hey, you can't even entertain yourselves. You're gonna entertain yourselves by twiddling your fucking thumbs, unless you pay us $150.
And the reason why is because there was apparently a high rate of drugs being smuggled in by books. Now,
just check the books.
Actual studies of this have found that...
Inconclusive.
Yeah, found bullshit. No, that's not true. And found that most of the drugs being smuggled into these facilities are from staff members. But never missing a beat for a chance to capitalize on an opportunity. Inmates will now have to pay $147 to purchase a tablet and then pay a private company for electronic versions of books. And they will...
Fuck you guys.
So they have to buy a Kindle.
Fuck.
And then buy the books for the Kindle.
All right, so here. Let me raise you this, you stupid fucks. All right? You had a chance to give them regular books that are just pieces of paper. Now you're giving them a Kindle with electronics inside of it. You have one MacGyver fucking with a Kindle, and you have a goddamn prison break.
Boom.
These people are stupid. Pennsylvanian people are fucking... What the fuck are you guys doing?
Being shitty to their fellow man.
Oh, absolutely. This is inherently fucked up.
You want to know what else is fucked up?
What?
7.
Putin-backed candidate loses to communist challenger, causing Russian authorities to cancel the election on the basis of, quote, misfiled paperwork.
This is submitted by MetaMaster to Our World News.
So is Russia just getting closer to the point where they're going to overthrow the bourgeoisie again?
They just had a communist challenger fucking win. They're ready to go back to communism.
It even less than communism. Is Russia just going to repeat what it's done before of the poor are going to murder the rich, become the rich, the poor will murder the rich, become the rich, poor murder the rich, become the rich, that whole cycle over and over again?
Yeah, that is literally Russian history. Just like how with American history it is get into a war, arguably win a war, get immediately into another war, arguably win that war, get immediately into another war, etc., etc.
You're forgetting one extra piece in American history, Nathan.
What?
Kill and displace the natives, take the land. Find a new country, kill and displace the natives, take the land. Find a new country, kill and displace the natives, take the land. That's part of the
war, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, you know. So, a communist candidate, Valentin Konovalov, that's the best I got.
I'm going to look at it.
Valentin Konovalov?
Yeah. Valentin Konovalov.
Ah, there you go. He should already be Siberia's youngest governor, but it was massive victory. Whoosh, wah, got on right through the first round ballot because of a massive wave of protests because people don't like the current government in Russia. But they did force it to go to a runoff, and then when they went to the runoff election, they misfiled the paperwork, so the election was canceled.
That's fucking stupid.
So you know what's going to happen next, right? They're going to incarcerate him for political discourse and then say that he is no longer a valid candidate because he has been arrested for political reasons.
He's been arrested. He's on a federal level. He can't. Russia is one of the biggest corrupted states. Like, it's very blatantly corrupted there, and I would say that it rivals our corruption.
I think it beats our corruption because, like, our corruption at least is still on some levels not blatant and in everyone's face.
Absolutely not, dude. It is completely blatant.
No, there's a lot of it that's still hidden away.
I mean, sure, but there's probably a lot still hidden in Russia too.
I suppose, but I just feel like
our corruption is very blatantly, very, very blatantly corrupt. Like, it is very easy to see how much the GOP will not do something because it doesn't favor them.
That's fair. So, yeah, Russia, you suck.
For instance, like, nothing has been done for the Saudi thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that's our number one thing. So we will talk more about that in just a little bit. Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
35 states tell the FCC to get off its ass and do something about spoofed robocalls.
This is submitted by Specs to Our Technology.
So in 2017, the FCC created the 2017 call blocking order, which was supposed to provide phone companies a means of weeding out and blocking robocalls. However, even more hilariously, since that went into place, robocalls have gotten worse.
God damn it.
There were 30.5 billion illegal robocalls made to cell phones and landlines in 2017.
That's ridiculous. What the fuck? The FCC right now is doing nothing but disappoint. That is a disappointment.
You could have just stopped at the word nothing. It's
true, but they're doing something. They're disappointing all of America.
They fucking suck. That's what they do.
Yeah, because of Ajit Pai.
Yeah, right? God, is that a worthless individual?
Among others, but, like, Ajit Pai is pretty bad.
Now, so question to you, Nathan, because I personally have not experienced much issue with robocalls. Have you?
I tend not to answer phone numbers that I don't know on account of me having to owe literally an arm and a leg.
Did you try and bring your mom back?
I mean, my mom's already back. I tried to bring back my kidney.
Wait, are you missing a kidney?
No, I just had damage.
Okay, I just thought I'd check. So, This personally doesn't affect me, but that said, apparently it is a very massive problem, especially in specific areas because of a way that particular phones and stuff are set up. For instance, one of the things that is happening in New York is that they have the ability to distinguish what your neighbor's phone numbers are, and they can spoof the phone number to look like it is coming from your neighbor.
That happened up here recently with the court system.
And
where a bunch of people were getting the court system's phone number as a phone call saying, hey, you have a warrant, you can pay it over the phone right here, right now. That being said, you can't actually fucking do that. So if someone says that you, in Alaska, if someone says that you have a warrant and that you should pay over the phone, it's a fucking lie.
Yeah, don't do that. In fact, if anyone says for you to pay anything over the phone, probably just don't do it.
I did it once with debt collectors. It actually worked, but
good work, sir.
It was sketchy.
It sounds like it, but also most debt collectors are pretty sketchy, so
it's true. Very, very true.
Viral video of feminists pouring bleach on manspreaders debunked as Russian propaganda. This
is submitted by Sagan Speaks for Earth to Our World News.
I'm really glad because, one, when I first saw this video, which if you haven't seen the video, it's a video of this young woman that is walking like through like trains and subways and coming up to dudes that it's not like their legs are like spread eagle, like they're literally just sitting with their legs spread just a little bit, and she's just pouring what I assume now is water onto their laps. Although in the clip it was said that it was diluted bleach and she was trying to teach them not to be manspreaders.
Manspreading is a invention of the Russian propaganda machine.
In this case,
no one's actually pissed off about people sitting like that.
Oh, there are some people. They definitely exist.
Those people are overly sensitive and get upset over literally anything.
The things that made me already believe that it was fake is the shots were too clean in terms of like it looked very well made in terms of how good the like
it was very shooped.
Well, yeah, well, not necessarily shopped, but how good of a shot they were getting. Like you would notice if somebody was walking through a train with another person walking behind them slowly with a camera, and like it was very staged. Is really what I'm trying to get at. And so I had already had questions about it. It looks like they have already done an investigation and found out that it is absolutely fake, which is good. Also because I do not believe there are so many horribly aggressive people in the world that if you just walk up to some random person and just dump bleach on them, I don't believe they're just going to let you walk away.
No, they'd probably fucking fight you. I would, depending on who it is, I'd tell them to square up.
Like, I mean, even if it was just water, I know people that wouldn't let you just walk away.
Water is a bit different. I'd be okay with that. But if it has like an actual smell to it, if it's like vinegar or bleach or anything like that, yeah, I'd probably want to throw hands. I would probably get my ass beat because, you know, I'm fucking tiny as shit.
And she'd just lay you out?
Yeah, but I mean, that's like another fetish of mine, so it's all right.
So you're just like, oh yeah, heart. Oh God.
Yeah, I could feel this bleach through my heart on.
Gross. Probably burns a bit.
Stark white, baby. Keeping it real.
4. Climate report. Scientists politely urge, act now, idiots. It's the final call, say scientists, the most extensive warning yet that the risks of rising global temperatures.
This is submitted by Janet Yellen's fuckboy to Our World News.
Damn. Who is Janet Yellen?
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up real quick. Janet.
She sounds very loud.
Yellen. Janet Yellen is an American economist. She served as the chair of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System.
Huh. Her fuckboy submitted this.
All right. Good job, fuckboy.
Been gilded 15 times.
So, well, that's because most people on Reddit are very supportive of trying to stop global warming and climate change.
Well, yeah, because it's absolutely accurate and true.
One perfect example is Alaska right now.
Yeah.
There is still green grass and leaves outside, and we are halfway through October. Not that I'm complaining, but I'm complaining because I also know what that means.
You're gonna get a heavy dump.
Not necessarily, actually. The mayor was on the radio recently talking about how shitty this winter's going to be for everybody because it's not expected to get much colder than it is already. And so what's going to end up happening is it'll have very radical drops and rises in temperature. So it's going to be like 50, 40, 50 degrees, drop to like 10, 20 degrees, snow a bunch, freeze everything, and then go back up to 40, 50 degrees, which will thaw everything, which will be really destructive on the city.
Yeah. But, you know, global warming doesn't exist, so it's fine.
Hey, I mean, the South, I mean, what was it? It's like New York had one of its coldest winters last year. It means that it's definitely not happening.
Yep, exactly. No, that means it's happening, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, climate change means that the radical weather will start to appear. Like, the amount of massive, devastating hurricanes that we have had is very indicative of this as well.
And snow only occurs within a certain
Temperature
spot, like sweet spot for temperature. Yeah, if it gets too cold, it won't fucking snow. So if it's not snowing because it's too cold, that's an indicator that your climate's changing. If it's snowing too much in a certain fucking time when it's not supposed to be snowing, that could be an indicator because shit, it's not supposed to be snowing.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, as much as it pains me, there is fuck all that we can really do about it. Like, there are some agencies and companies, like especially a lot of the major news outlets, that are trying to propagate the idea that we need to make changes in our lives to better the environment, which there are things that we could do. However, we are not the ones that are causing these problems. Like, they have multiple times, science has found, discovered, and confirmed that 100 companies in the world are the cause of 71% of the entirety of the climate change, global warming, pollution problems that we are having. So
Yep.
when 71% of the problem, you can point at 100 different people and go, it's their fault.
You can get them to do something to change.
The only problem with that is that we can't. The people in charge can. We can ask the people in charge to do so, but they've already been bought off by those companies, so are not interested in doing so.
Yeah, some fucking bullshit. We're gonna lose our planet to fucking greedy corporations because of fucking goddamn capitalism.
Yeah, such is the world.
3.
Judge who jailed fracking protesters with excessive sentence has family links to oil and gas firms.
This is submitted by that crappy player to Our World News.
So, I don't know if we talked about this specific case, but we did talk about the stuff surrounding this. So this was when Simon Blevins, Richard Roberts, and Richard Loizow were making a demonstration at the Quadrilla site. And they were doing a very peaceful protest. They weren't rioting or destroying property or anything like that. They were doing a peaceful protest, and they were jailed. Not only were they arrested, they were jailed for this peaceful protesting fracking. Now, not only were they were jailed quite, what'd be a good word for it, sir?
Extensively.
Sure. I didn't want to reuse the word extensively, but yeah.
I mean, I'm tired enough.
I'm tired enough. I don't give a shit. And
I mean, like, what the frack?
And
It's a pie.
I hate you. So one guy got 16 months, one guy got 15 months, and I forget.
Wow.
I forget how much the other guy got, but that
Now this is blatant corruption right here, Michael.
For just peaceful protesting. And so people started looking into his ties and things, and his wife has been writing letters in support of fracking, saying that they need to give shale a chance.
No, absolutely not. Fracking hurts more than it helps.
Yeah, fracking's really destructive to the environment. And
Yeah.
the problem is like there are ways to do fracking. Like fracking's kind of like communism. On paper, it looks really good and works really well. In execution, none of it goes the way that it looks like it's supposed to on paper.
No, you fuck up too often. There's too many times I've witnessed videos of people lighting their own water on fire because of fracking.
Yep.
It's not It's not healthy. It's not safe.
Like, if done perfectly, fracking works well and is fucking safe as hell.
But it never does.
You never do it
you
perfectly.
guys never do that.
Ever.
So I don't want fracking up here.
People suck.
That would be one of the main things that they do for
Anwar?
that big salmon run thing.
Big salmon run thing?
The thing that's going on right now is like vote no or vote yes on one.
Right. The ballot proposition.
Yeah. It's essentially for
2.
fracking.
Greece bans obese tourists from riding on donkeys.
That was submitted by Sexy Loser 1128 to Our World News.
Yep. Greece has had an influx of
They've had enough.
Of donkeys with spinal problems.
Because fat people sitting on their donkeys.
And so, yeah, you're not allowed to ride on their donkeys anymore, you fat fucks.
Wow. Okay, so first, it's kind of offensive. Second, you guys, I feel for you. You want to feel okay in your skin. You want to feel galvanized by anything. I don't know words.
Okay.
You're like, yeah, I'm okay with my image. I'm okay with my body weight, right? And I'm okay with you being okay with that. But it is unhealthy to be, a certain size. It is very unhealthy, and you may feel proud of being that size, but you have to realize that it is going to kill you. So you should really stop.
Well, and the thing is,
I feel like it's insensitive just saying like that, because it's like telling a poor person to stop being poor. But it's
no,
like,
I understand.
You can do things, even if you have pituitary issues where it's all in the glands in your brain. You can do things to help your health better by becoming more slim.
Well, even beyond that, however people want to live, I don't care. Like, if you want to live, if you want to be heavier set, because there's some people that they actually do want to be heavier.
Right.
Like,
I want to be heavier, not fatter. I want to be more muscle, but I want to be heavier.
If that's what you want, cool, you do that. But understand, much like any other people that have a choice that they make in their life, whether it's like, I won't support establishments for reasons X, Y, or Z, or or if you're going to, try to be a vegetarian or a vegan, there are things now that you have to understand and realize as part of that choice that you are making. And that is like, maybe I can't go to this place, I can't do this thing, I can't eat this, I can't go here. And that is something that you have to recognize as part of a choice of choosing to be a heavier person, that there are things that you will not be able to do. If you're heavy enough, you have to buy 2 plane tickets because you take up 2 seats. Like, it's not that you can't be heavy. If that's the choice you want to make, I don't care. That's fine. You go ahead and be heavy. You be who you want to be, as long as you don't infringe on the happiness and lives of others. I don't care. But also understand that your choices come with conditions, essentially.
And I know it's not easy being thinner, right? It's not easy being healthy when you can just go down to the store, buy a bunch of junk food for a lot cheaper than actual food, go home and eat it. But you have to make these conscious choices to be healthier, because it will make you feel better.
And like I said, even if you don't, just understand that means that you don't get to ride the donkeys in Greece.
Exactly.
Understand that means that you have to have a special chair in certain establishments, because their chairs only have a recommended weight capacity of like 225 pounds.
Yep. You have to recognize that you can't be able to do certain things because it is not meant for your body type to do.
Like, I understand that sucks, but the world...
Much like there are things that you can't do when you're too skinny.
Yeah. So... Or even too muscular. Like, the Mountain has all kinds of problems because of how big and heavy he is.
Yeah, no, like when you can't even scratch your nose because your muscles are too big.
Like, so make the choice that you want, but understand that choices made will have not necessarily consequences, but will have something that
it's kind of consequences.
Kind of, yeah. But yeah.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Like, I understand not wanting to be judged for being heavier. Fine, that's cool. Like,
Yeah, that's something that needs to be done away with, like judging people based off of their size and everything. But at the same time, it's like you need to know that you are at an unhealthy size. You have health problems and are going to have health problems, and it's going to cost you money because you're not healthy.
well, and
It is much cheaper in the long run to be healthier.
well, and that's also part of it, is that also understand that yes, people do judge people for being heavier or for being skinnier or for being too tall or too short or too black or whatever. It, like, people suck, and that is entirely different from you take up 2 airplane seats, you have to buy 2 seats. I want, like, understand that that is not judgment, that is not fat shaming. That is purely because you take up 2 seats. Like, that is just
That
how
being
that
said, self-care is important. Love yourself.
Yeah, whatever you want to do to make yourself happy, that's fine.
Treat yourself, but treat yourself to some like non-fat yogurt every now and then.
Understand though that when someone says, well, you have to buy 2 plane tickets because of your size, they are not fat shaming you. They are just stating what is happening. You cannot ride a donkey because you weigh 350 pounds.
Right.
That is not
just like just like I can't ride a fucking dog.
Yeah, that is not fat shaming you. The donkey can't hold you. Like,
that is a living being.
Like, that's as far as that goes. So anyway, we've been on this way too long. We're gonna move on now. I'm just going to shorten all of this down to just one little word and topic here, and I'm going to type this in here if I can.
Turkey.
Nope, not turkey.
Turkey.
Nope, not well, I mean, it's involving with turkey, but it is not.
If that's the sheriff, then you must be turkey.
Turkey. Anyway,
that's my favorite line out of that really god-awful movie, Thanksgiving.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, I bet.
We're just going to shorten this down to Jamal Khashoggi.
And it was submitted by a lot of people. It was submitted by Instant Reporter to our news, or World News. It was submitted by Urinomos to our World News. And it was submitted by Strongly Wyrock to our World News.
So Jamal Khashoggi was a journalist that went into the Saudi Arabian consulate in Turkey. The reason he went in there is because he wanted to file his divorce paperwork. Well, he wanted to certify his divorce. And he was, for a while, believed to be missing after he went into the embassy there. And then it was discovered that not only did he not go missing, but he was tortured and murdered and dismembered, and his body was hidden while in the Saudi Arabian embassy.
Yeah, his wife was waiting for him to come out because he was just trying to get the divorce. Well, his fiance.
And now the only thing that I mentioned earlier is I was trying to read on this story, and there's a lot of things that are going into this story because there's so many countries and people that are talking about it. I mean, like, because Saudi Arabia is talking about how they're going to retaliate against anyone who puts sanctions on them as part of this because they're continuing to deny that this happened, even though Turkey has now said that they do have audio and video evidence because it's in the Turkish embassy, so they have the video. And so they have proof that this happened. Saudi Arabia is still saying no. People like Richard Branson are pulling projects out of Saudi Arabia over this issue. Canada is imposing human...
WWE has been... has a fucking foot in this issue.
Yeah, that's when you know it's gotten real wide, when we got wrestling up in this bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Because they had a scheduled event for Saudi Arabia, and now a bunch of people are like, hey, don't do that. Don't go to that event. Don't.
The only thing that I can't find, at least I couldn't find this morning when I was reading through this, is fucking why.
Why he was?
Yeah.
I know this. I read it earlier this week. He fled to Turkey from Saudi Arabia because of his journalism.
Oh, because he was writing articles against the nation?
Yeah, and they disliked that, and he had to go into the consulate so that he can get divorced from his wife in Saudi Arabia so that he can marry his fiance in Turkey. It didn't come out. His wife and or his fiance in Turkey was sitting there waiting for him entire fucking day, up until like midnight or so. He didn't come out. She went home, slept, came back the next day, still waited, nothing happened. That's when shit, really started getting real.
Yeah, he has been criticizing the country's conservative clerics since 2003.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, fuck that, we're gonna kill your ass.
Apparently they just got tired of it.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they killed his ass.
Murdered.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
What do you mean?
Like the terror this man must have felt just trying to get a divorce.
Yeah, I mean, so I am not condoning this on any level, but when you are in a nation like Saudi Arabia or Russia or even Turkey itself, and you make the conscious decision to speak against the establishment, much like what we were just talking about, where if you're going to be a heavier set person, the amount of things that come along with that, there are the possibilities of retaliation that are involved when you speak against a truly not
and I mean, this isn't purely just on Saudi Arabia. Like Turkey's trying to get to the bottom of it, but it's still a failure on Turkey's behalf because it happened on Turkish ground.
Like when you speak out against a tyrannical, that's the word I was looking for, tyrannical regime, they will be tyrannical towards you. Like
unless you live in another country, like in a vastly different country.
Yeah, and that's the like. I'm not saying don't speak out against it, but be aware that if you do, that you run that risk.
Yeah.
Like, and most of them are very aware of that. They're aware of the risk they take. Like, I mean, even in the United States, I mean, as much as people love to criticize him, is the reason that Snowden fled to Russia, because he knew that he would essentially be like horribly treated in America after he revealed the entirety of the whole surveillance thing.
He would have been treated, or he would have been, treated as a fucking treasonous individual.
And so, like, that's the thing, is that most of them are aware of it. And unfortunately, yeah, I'm sure this was absolutely horrible, but I'm sure that there was a small part of him. That's why he fled to Turkey, because he knew that this was a possibility. Now, that said, I don't think he thought that it would happen in Turkey, and that's really shitty. And I hope that all the countries that are getting involved with this, especially when it comes to like Turkey, the United States, Canada, etc., I hope that they begin to actually address this issue, because Saudi Arabia has been pulling shit like this for a very long time, and it's time for that shit to fucking stop. But I don't know what direction it goes, essentially, but hopefully the tensions around the world are getting higher and higher. So hopefully at some point we do see that come to a head, and I hope that it doesn't result in an overwhelmingly negative outcome. But with the interconnectivity of the world at this point, we are hitting that climax point where things can only bend so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're at a constant breaking point in a lot of things, and really just a little extra pressure will snap everything.
Well, and I feel like a lot of it we overlook for the sake of trying not to upset the status quo of things, because no one
like the Skripal poisonings.
Yeah, no one wants to be that person. No one wants to be the country that tipped the bucket over. So
that started the next World War.
Yeah, everyone is instead looking at just how they can scoop a little bit out of the bucket and set it to the side.
Except for Russia.
Yeah, except for Russia. Well, Russia's one of the people that's pouring the water into the bucket, being like,
overflow,
hey guys,
bitches.
We
are helping, yes?
Yeah, so it is a large concern, and I don't know where it goes, but yeah.
Where it goes, who knows?
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me! Nathan, what'd you care about in the last week?
So it's an anime, so for people who are uninterested, you can tune out.
So real quick, before you get started, my thing is also an anime and a really nerdy video game. So if you guys want to check out now, don't blame you. All I ask is that you consider supporting the show, patreon.com/dailyinternet, merchandise in the link below. We got our logo shirt. We got the Sucks to Suck shirt. We got the I Didn't Vote For You shirt. We got the Puns Are Us shirt. Pick up those if you would like one of those and help support this show. We would appreciate you greatly. Otherwise, follow and share the show on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. All of those are at iReaditcast. Nathan, anime, go.
Okay, so do you like isekai?
Yeah, yeah. I only discovered what it actually was recently, but I have realized that I've watched several isekai animes.
For people who don't know, isekai anime is usually person going into a new world, you know, like a video game world.
Or whatever, taken to a magical world. They've
Right.
th-
And you like
Alice in Wonderland is technically an isekai.
right, and you like Dungeons and Dragons, right?
I do like Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, there's a Dungeons and Dragons isekai. Straight up, like the manga has a portion where they're filling out a 5e character sheet for their guild.
Okay.
However, it is very contented right now with how it depicts certain things. There's a new show called Goblin Slayer.
Ah, I have heard about this show because of the way that it opens.
Right. So Goblin Slayer, the first episode, and I'm going to spoil a bunch of it. So if, you guys don't want that, let's skip ahead. So in Goblin Slayer, the main point is that there's a man who hasn't quite had his name revealed yet, but he goes by the name Goblin Slayer, and he goes around accepting quests with one specific thing in mind, and he wants to kill as many goblins as possible, right? Well, the story starts off with a roving band of adventurers who are porcelain ranked, which is like the lowest ranking, going off into a goblin hovel to fight goblins. Which is all well and good until it gets really fucking real, and the kid with the long sword had a sword that was too long, and he dropped it in combat. He got tackled by a bunch of goblins, got fucking killed, brutally murdered. The dark mage woman gets stabbed in the gut, so she gets poisoned, and they eventually, like, mercy kill her by stabbing her in the neck. But the one that people get really upset about is the treatment of the monk character and what happened to the monk character. The monk character gets raped brutally by a ton of goblins, and it's used as a plot point to show how fucked up the goblins are and how their race is purely driven, because there's no female goblins. It is driven by rape of other races, because they don't just rape humans, they rape elves and everything too. And a lot of people are upset because it depicted rape, and people were saying that it depicted rape in a sexualized fashion. And I would like to counterpoint that if you thought that was sexualized, then you should really stop for a moment and look down and think about yourself deep down, about what you sexualize, because I didn't view it sexually. I definitely viewed it very kind of painfully. It was very hard to watch. It was very upsetting. But that's another thing that I like watching. I like watching horrific situations. That's why I watch horror movies. That's why I watch, things like Higurashi, because I like watching situations that churn my stomach, that get me into that kind of thing. And if you're into that kind of shit, then I would definitely suggest Goblin Slayer, because it's not always like that. Episode 2 is very, very tame compared, but it's fucking sick, because all he wants to do is kill goblins, to the point where he'll kill goblin children just for existing. So it's like not just the women, but the children too.
Damn, Nathan, squeezing the Star Wars reference in there.
Yeah. But no, it's really good, and a lot of people are actually claiming that he's a fascist because all he wants to do is wipe out an entire race of individuals. And I would like to also counterpoint that the goblins are not good by any stretch. None of them, like, he even says in the first episode, there might be a good goblin somewhere, but if their race is propagated, if their race is only about because of rape and murder, then they're an inherently evil race. And all he's doing is he's killing all of them. And I don't see the problem. He's literally trying to kill rape culture.
Yeah, but people love to make sensationalist media, Nathan.
They're not. It's like goblins.
No,
they're not a race. They're not a race that should be protected. It is not something that's like, oh man, these goblins are good people, or oh man, we need to give these goblins a try. It is strictly, these goblins are evil. These are awful individuals, they're sentient, yes, but they're very, very awful, and they need to be put to the sword.
Very well. I cared about two things, both super nerdy. One is I started back up watching Ruby because I've worn a couple of Ruby hats. I love Monty Oum. Rest in peace, sir. You'll be missed forever and always. But I realized that I hadn't been keeping up with the show very well, and I'd only seen the first 2 volumes, season 1 and season 2, whatever you want to refer to them as. So I've been working my way
Like
back.
the actual Monty Oum stuff.
Yeah. So I've been working my way back through it, and I just finished season 3, volume 3. Holy fuck, did that get dark? Like, the end of volume 3, I'm not going to spoil shit, but I just want everyone to know that if you just want to feel lost in life because, oh my fucking god, everything didn't work, just watch through volume 3 of Ruby. Also, if you're concerned about length, literally Ruby episodes are just made to be as long as they need to be. So some episodes are like 6 minutes long and some are 14. So
okay.
You can make your way through Ruby surprisingly quick because it doesn't force every episode to be 20 minutes long.
Yeah, there's no consistency.
Yep, it's literally just this is how much time we need to tell the story of this episode. Really good. Also, over the last week, I've been trying out Magic Arena. If you are into Magic the Gathering, it is really solid. Like, I had purchased a couple of the Duels of the Planeswalker games over the last, like, 7 years. And while they were, like, kind of cutesy, they weren't great, especially because of how limited they were. Magic Arena is surprisingly good. Like, Magic the Gathering Online is fucking ass. It doesn't work very well. It looks like shit. Everyone hates it.
But it's got all the cards.
But it's got all the cards. Magic Arena doesn't have all the cards. It only has what's in standard so far. So Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan, Dominaria, Magic 19, and Guilds of Ravnica. That's all that's there right now. But that said, it runs extremely well. It looks great. It's very smooth. It's in open beta right now. It already has draft available in it. You can draft in it for $5, which is really cheap. You get to do a full draft. And its drafts and everything work much the same way that like Eternal does. Of you draft by yourself essentially, and the computer takes away cards. And then instead of like needing to be in a round robin with other players, you just play until you lose 3 games or win 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really nice because that was one of the limitations of Magic the Gathering Online is that like it functioned as though you were in an actual room with other people. So if you needed to step away for one reason or another, you were just kind of fucked. Whereas Magic Arena doesn't have that limitation, which is nice. It has a full standard, all the cards in standard. You can build all of the standard decks. Obviously, they want you to like buy packs to get the cards, although they do give you the option of being able to get cards individually. Currently, they don't let you like rip up cards for dust or anything like that, you know, compared to other games. You can randomly... Some packs have wild cards in them, and once you open up a certain number of packs, you get wild cards at different rarities, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare, and you can use those to trade 1-for-1 for any card of the same rarity that you want, which is pretty cool as well. The thing that they haven't figured out yet is what you do when you have more than 4 copies of a card. Currently, it goes to a vault that you cannot see, and they haven't determined what exactly what it works towards, what it unlocks, anything like that. One of the things they were leaning towards is that when you open a pack of cards, you will not get a card that you already have 4 of. But then that runs into the problem of like, all right, well, what do you do if you open a pack of a set that you have every card in 4 copies?
Then it's just a bunch of wild cards.
Who knows? They haven't got that far yet. That's also why it's in open beta. But if you are interested in Magic the Gathering, I would very strongly recommend giving Magic Arena a try. I was very pleasantly surprised by just how solid it was.
It's all right. It's pretty good. I don't know. I've been disenfranchised from Magic for a while. Though, yesterday, or the day before, I bought a bunch of Magic cards, but it was just a bunch of cards to update my EDH decks.
Sure. All right, that's it. That's all I got. You done, Nathan?
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I just saw this meme. And it's really not funny, but it's like, wow.
But it's also kind of funny.
Yeah, it's dude, cancer is so easy to beat. I'm already at stage 4.
Damn, that's awful. All right, let's get out of here, though. Everybody, if you would like to support this show, we'd greatly appreciate it. Already rambled this off once, so I'll make it quick. Patreon.com/dailyinternet. Merchandise in the link below. Follow and share on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit. All of those are at iReaditCast. We would greatly also appreciate 5-star reviews on the audio-only platforms such as iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Thank you so much for your continued support. We will be back next week, Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Alaska time. Always, the show is available as well on any of the platforms I have mentioned before. I'm on social media at Schwan Michael. Nathan is at Bimmenstein. That is your 520th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
I'm sleepy.
And please remember, everybody.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm going back to bed.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing.